having my family on my back has been really important, and having the mindset that I have nowadays is because of them as well, and especially with my older brother. So having him with me, besides me, and going home, he said to me, we don't talk about football, we talk about life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new season of Mindsetwin, the podcast that explores for you the mental tactics and techniques used by elite sports professionals and other high performers, and shows us how to apply the same techniques to our daily lives. Today, we're sitting here with Xavi Simons and with Peter Schneider from RB Leipzig. Really excited to be talking to you guys. So you have a special relationship. Maybe we can start there. Or you're looking like that, Peter. Do you not? Would you not call it that?
I just like that we call it special. I like Xavi enough, yeah.
What's your relationship like if not special?
No, we see each other every day, so we speak about everything, I would say. No?
It started off rough. He hit me with a couple draw four cards when we were beginning a relationship.
During Uno, I see.
Yeah, but it started out with little rough Uno matches, but after that it got easier.
Took off.
Yeah.
So maybe you can explain, Pete, for our audience, what it is that you really do, except for losing at Uno.
Honestly, so as the mental performance coach at the club, it's basically twofolded. So I work with the boys on individual things, those who need. Sleep is a big thing that we focus on. There's a lot of aspects around mental performance that we can look at, concentration or cognitive things. So looking at reaction, stuff like that. And then as a general idea, I try to give the team good messages throughout the week, and then for the weekend, just to mentally be feeling good, feel confident, regardless of if we won or tie or lose on the weekend, so that we just have a nice stable environment. Very happy, a good environment, I think, is probably the number one thing. Yeah.
So interesting that you use the word environment, because I can imagine that especially in a football environment, the whole mental side of working out as an athlete isn't that popular yet. So Xavi, maybe you can share with us how your first impression of Peter was and how you guys started out working together.
No, just when I came here to explain about everyone, what the role everyone is. But I think not only with Pete, I think with a lot of people you are talking, and you're talking really about the mindset, about what he's saying. The mindset is for the performance as well on the weekend, and having a good environment during the week. It's really important. But what you say, it's something new that's coming in the world of football, I would say. But especially for me, it's really important to be and mindset good every day, coming here to the club and enjoying being here. I would say that's really important.
What would you guys say is a strong mindset? We've said this a couple of times now, but what does it really mean?
Strong mindset is simply it's more about being mentally flexible, is what I like to say. So just like your muscles, your joints, everything, you want to get them in such shape that they can take a good hit. It's not always about being so tough. I think mental toughness is a word that people always like to use. It's not really at the highest level about being tough so much as it's being flexible. It's about dealing with consistent pressure, stressors, whether within a match or between matches. And that's why that's some of the things I always stretch to the boys, is they're allowed to have really negative emotions. They're allowed to be angry. They're allowed to even if they want to say they feel weak or they don't feel great, that's fine. That's what a good mindset is accepting that you're human and still performing.
Accepting that.
Is that hard? Is that a hard thing to do, to accept that you're human?
It's hard sometimes, because you're like in a bubble, and you want to do everything perfect, and you want to be the example, and you want to show everyone you're there to perform. But what Pete say, you have weeks that you drop down, and then you all go up. So it's like an full emotions. So you have to keep balance about that.
Pete, the other thing that you said that I found so interesting was it's really about flexibility. So about adapting to, I don't know, your daily mood, your surroundings, whatever comes into play here.
Yeah.
And Xavi, you have moved so much already, being 20 years old right now. Would you say that adaptability is something that you learned over the years?
Yeah, because especially in the world of football, you don't have time. Like you go to a new club or you go a new environment, then you have to be there at the moment. And that yeah, my luck that I learned at a really young age. So when I came in a new environment, I knew like, okay, I'm coming now here, but I give myself 1 or 2 weeks max to adapt myself and being good in the group.
Adding pressure to your situation yourself then, kind of.
Yeah, I don't see it like a pressure, but it's the world of football. Like nobody gonna say, yeah, you're a new player here, so I give you 1 2 months to adapt. You come here, you have 2 3 weeks to be with a new group, and then you have to keep performing. We had like Bayern Munich, the Super Cup final. It goes fast. Like I was here 2 3 weeks training games, and then directly you have a final. So, and for the club, it's really important. So you have to be there.
Maybe you can take the audience with us, like into those 2 3 first weeks of yourself getting here. How did you feel, like thinking this big game is coming up? I guess Bayern Munich is a big name that everyone knows in the football world. How did you feel? How did you go about with these
Yeah, of
new things?
course. I'm not gonna say it was not hard. It was hard to come in a new environment, new people. What I say, I had luck that I knew a few players before. I played with Shadai in PSG, Danny, when I was a little young guy, and Danny was like the big guy from Barcelona. But yeah, and then you come here, new, you go on stage, then you're trying to adapt yourself to the people as well. That yeah, the communication, everything, and then we had some games. We had Las Palmas, and yeah, to prepare this game. And for me, personal was like, okay, everything is good. I'm gonna have a good relation with the guys, but in the pitch, I must show that I'm ready to play the final. So I put that on my mind to go for it, and yeah, it went good, I would say.
Yeah, I would say it went pretty well. I mean, we were making jokes just at the beginning of the conversation about the Uno and stuff, right? But I can imagine that things like that really make a quite of an essential part of the environment,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah, it is because in the world of football, yeah, I would say like you are 24 hours with pressure, and then you go in the dressing room after the training, and you want to enjoy your time as well with the guys, and these are little things playing Uno. Or we have ping pong as well. We're playing on ping pong, It's just for our mind to be calm and okay, now it's time to relax and enjoy ourselves, and that's a mix of emotions. I would say it's perfect for me, for example.
I have to say as well, though,
Please.
man. I mean, when you first came, people see you now, and I remember he came as well. And it's funny, I can get lost in it too, and be like, yeah, he's starting every game. That's who he is. He's anchored in our team. He's right. I mean, he showed up, and of course, you show up, and it's first, okay, what's this kid what's he gonna bring? We know his name, but that's, you don't know much else.
Yeah.
And then you have how many other boys that want to play on the pitch as well, that want to be in that final as well. And so there is that mindset, as you said. I think it's perfect of like, yeah, you got to be there, you got to perform on the pitch, you got to show that's what you want, that's why you're here. And of course, yeah, there is also the point that you come in and then say, all right, I do need that, once they release, but I need that the normalcy as well. Because if I'm in a tunnel for 3 weeks,
It's hard, yeah, and especially if you're alone.
yes,
Like the start, I was alone as well in the hotel, no house,
right,
24 hour. You go club, hotel, and then in a room, you're gonna turn crazy.
yeah.
So yeah, that.
Yeah, and I mean, you just said Xavi was coming as the new guy. You were coming as the new guy. We knew nothing about his name. And in your situation, it's, I would say, even special because not only in Leipzig they know your name, but your name was already popular when you were, I don't know, 13 years old. So how does that play into, man, I guess, coming into new environments and feeling people treat you differently, maybe even as well?
It yeah, I must say in the start was hard because yeah, I'm 30 years old and I want to play football. That's my dream. I didn't want it to be like the part of famous. I didn't know what that was, you know. So being such yeah, a talent at 30 years old and people expecting things for you, for me was good, but at the same time people can judge you as well, like most easily, and talk about you more easily. So that was the most hard part for me, because I was thinking like, I'm 14 years old, why are you saying this bad stuff about me? I didn't do nothing, you know. So having my family on my back and knowing like they're always with me, and yeah, talk about everything, not just about football but about the life, it's, yeah, for me it has been really important. And having the mindset that I have nowadays is because of them as well, and especially with my older brother. Like he has always had friends on a football environment, so having him with me, besides me, and going home, and he said to me, we don't talk about football, we talk about life. And that was a part, like, for me was the same, like, yeah, he's showing me like not everything is football in life. So that was as well like a part for me really important.
So you don't talk about football at home.
With my brother, I mostly, obviously, when we watch games, we talking about football, but he is the one that's 24 hours with me, and he's saying no, no football, like about the life. We have a younger sister, we have a mom, we're gonna do together things. So that's for me really important. Yeah.
So interesting. And I see you nodding in support there. I can imagine that it's different for everyone, though, right? Because everyone needs individual things on and off the court.
Yeah, everybody has their own way of getting that balance.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. There's some guys you know that they're destined to be coaches or managers at one point, just the way in which that they're obsessed with tactics, or the way in which obsessed you see it
That's
already. But I mean, it's just one of these things that I'll give an example. I might go see some friends down, my friends in Munich or Augsburg, where I used to live, and all they want to talk about is my job and
And I mean,
the
it's
boys and stuff.
interesting.
Yeah, of course, and it's no problem. But then, of course, the way how fast they are to judge and talk about people that I know on a personal basis, or I'll be like, you don't know them, like you don't know anything about this person except the 90 minutes you see on the weekend,
Yeah.
and
What they give for the sport, I
yes,
would say.
yeah, I see them every day, exactly, and how much they care and how much they want to do something. The classic line that drives me insane is, yeah, is he even training during the week? Like, does he even care? And I almost, I get so upset because, we're talking about mindset. He had that mentality to get to where he is. And, you're sitting on the couch watching him. So
Yeah.
it's okay. Like, I'm not, everyone has reasons they make it to the top or not, but it's just, yeah, don't judge always on the 90 minutes. Don't judge on the things that you just see. The boys, they're so much more than just the 90 minutes you see on the weekend, and that's something to be celebrated, in my opinion. Actually, it's one of my favorite things I like to do, is figure out who they are besides footballers.
That is so interesting. And this whole judgmental part of football, which is, obvious kind of because it's just so over mediated, medialized, I guess.
If you're a footballer, that's what you want to do. You want to have fun. You want to be a footballer. Reading angry comments on Instagram is not fun. And if I know that what's important to me is playing football and having fun and not reading comments, well, then I'm going to focus on playing football and having fun. As simple as that sounds, that's kind of the mental flexibility I'm talking about. Is it's knowing what's important to me. Is it really important to me? What
People
person?
say.
Yeah, what they say. Is
Yeah.
it important to me? And then, well, yeah, then I'm gonna be sitting online.
Yeah, but I would say like everyone is different, and like me, I always cared what my people say to me.
But your
And
people.
my people.
Yeah, that's a
know,
big difference.
I'm a guy that I don't care if I don't know you. You're saying, okay, I'm ugly. Okay, for you, I'm ugly. It doesn't matter, you know? Like, but if my mom is coming to me and Xavi, this and this, I will listen to her.
Absolutely.
And I'm that type of guy. You have person that it affect that some people are thinking bad about them, and me personally, I'm not like this. I'm saying like, you don't know me. Why are you gonna judge me?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah.
But I was talking before you came, I talked about how whether it's your family, you're lucky enough to have a family that you have such support from, that you have such love from. Some people have very good, let's say, positive, critical, even when needed, but positive, critical, loving friends.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
and that's what I was talking about before you
yeah,
came. And said, hey, that circle, that circle of who I need to listen to
yeah,
when that world comes down, when I miss that shot, when this doesn't work out,
yeah,
I need that circle to listen to.
yeah. It is like this. For example, I have my brother. My brother, he always tell me the truth, you know. But you know, brother relationship
Yeah,
is
yeah,
you saying something to me, I'm gonna
yeah,
watch you. I'm gonna say,
yeah, yeah,
shut up. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah. I got mine.
But at the end, I go to bed and I'm thinking, yeah, it's true what you are saying. You know, and for me, that's the most important thing. I'm like, if it affects me or not, it's not that.
But then where does the coach's judgment find its place within this group of people you should or shouldn't listen to?
No, the coaches, like the training coaches.
Yeah.
No, for obviously for me, it's important. Like it's on the group of people that you have to listen. Like most of the coaches want that you success and that you have, yeah, I would say good performance. So in my opinion, the coaches are in the group of you have to listen.
I have one last question regarding the coaching situation. Maybe this one is for you, Pete. If my boss didn't believe in me and gave me the feedback like you can't do this, how do I rise regardless if I still think I should be here, or if this is not going hand in hand with my goals or visions? Or
I mean, one way I can answer this is I've worked in academy football with younger players, and they'll be 15, 16, and they'll have a coach that'll come along and say, "You're not good enough. You're not going to make it."
yeah,
I mean, this is he's laughing because he probably knows.
story of
Yeah, but
so many footballers' lives,
that's
right?
crazy. That's crazy.
Right.
16 years old.
Right. So, but that's the thing is, that's a massively absolute statement to be making to someone who's 15, 16 years old, that you're just not good enough, because even at 16, you have so much time to grow. And it's not about sowing false seeds, or it's not about, um, there are definitely coaches who are trying to tell young boys, hey, listen, it's also important that you maybe go to get a good education. But the reality is, it's good that you get a good education anyway. That's just it's part of the process. In my opinion, if someone comes to you and bluntly says, like, I don't think you're good enough to make it, and you honestly do believe in yourself, then yeah, you got to find a different way. If the people around you, the good people, are being honest, critical, and saying, yeah, we do believe in you, then it is on you, though, to find another way. And I think the silliest thing someone can do is say, well, this one way doesn't work, so I can't make it. I mean, what are we talking about right now? We're talking literally about him saying, okay, he was at PSG, he went to PSV, and like, you just continue on. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I think
Yeah.
Yeah, you really related to that.
Yeah, I'm that type of guy. If you say that to me, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna make it.
Right.
You know, everyone is different, but I'm that guy. I'm not gonna get drowned because you say you don't believe in me. You know, and with 16 years old, it's crazy. Like you have what you say all your life, your time. You have how many years? 20 years,
Right.
and someone judging you already with 50, 60 years is crazy, I would say.
But I mean, you still have to have that confidence to
Yeah.
be stubborn enough to go like, no, I don't believe you, or whatever. I'm gonna prove you
But
wrong.
what I've seen as well, like I'm lucky that I've had this mindset since I'm young and this family. But there are people like they cannot handle this, you know, and that's what I'm talking as well sometimes with my family. Like people, they are not conscious what they can do in the life of other people. What I want to say with that is, you cannot say with to a guy of 15, 60 years old, you're not gonna make it, because there are people like for them is really yeah, it take them down, and they maybe saying, yes, that's true, I'm not gonna make it, so I drop it and I leave it. But if that guy is working every day and making improving, and you don't know where you're gonna go, you know. So for me, that is that part of judging people 50, 60 years old, that's for me just crazy.
Before we started this interview, we quickly or briefly, Pete, spoke about a drop in confidence. And you responded so interestingly. Maybe you can just repeat this for the audience one more time. You're like, yeah, but what does a drop in confidence even mean? Do I think I'm not confident right now? Or does somebody else tell me they
Right.
think I'm not? Or
Yeah, who
That's
says?
basically the same
Yeah,
situation,
yeah,
right?
it was exactly the idea of. I said, well, if someone says, oh, he has a lack of confidence, how do you work with that player? And I said, well, who says they have a lack of confidence? That's always though an interesting way to put it, because it's very interesting when if like we said, people who don't even know the player say, he doesn't look confident, or coach says he's not confident. But it's another thing if the player himself says he doesn't feel confident. And I think only the player himself can really know how he feels. No one can look into his brain or to his heart and tell him what he's feeling at that moment.
Yeah.
How, like, looking into your brain right now, you just mentioned that back at PSG, your coach was the first one to give you the chance to play with the first team for
Yeah.
the first time at 16 years old. Do you remember what that was like? Maybe we can have a little look into your brain right now.
Was crazy
What were you
because
feeling like?
yeah, it was crazy. Like the day before, there was a lot of injuries, so I knew like, okay, maybe he's gonna give me the chance. And it was a cup game against Cannes, and yeah, it was just like I was on the bench, and I had a good feeling that day. Like, okay, I hopefully they score 2 3 goals, and maybe the last 5 10 minutes he puts me on, and that's what happened. And for me, it's crazy. Like 70 years old, making your
Standing
day
at that sideline.
with that players besides me. It's yeah, it was as well like a boost for me. Like, okay, you know what, I'm here now, and now it's my time. So yeah, I would say I enjoyed really. Yeah,
But no nerves?
yeah.
No fear?
Obviously, you had that, that thing in you, and you, okay, it's gonna,
Butterflies.
yeah, the butterflies is gonna happen now. But when I was on the pitch, was just poof. Okay, now I do what I always do. So was 5 minutes, but really I enjoyed it.
But I can imagine the adrenaline
Yeah, it was high. It
was
was
more than
high.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it was high. Like I came home and seeing my mom and my brother with the eyes of proudness for me is the most, yeah, the most beautiful part. My sister not, because she was young. She was like, she was like, what happened, But my mom screaming. My brother was for me really beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Pete, how do you work with players in a situation like this? Do you prepare them? Do you help them, I don't know, with tools to calm down, or what's your approach?
Oh, I really, again, I really like to, and it's something you can probably relate to. I just said, hey, just focus, play football, because when you play football, you feel good.
Yeah.
And that's it sounds so simple, but really, one of the myths, I think, that, let's say, someone who's never been in a stadium, one of the myths that they believe is there's just so much noise and things are so crazy that you're just so distracted by this. You're playing football. Most of the things
Yeah.
you're not even noticing. You're just so into it, and you're just so into it, and maybe that kid that first time on the pitch, oh, he's noticing it. He's noticing it. But the reality is, the quicker you can just get focused on playing football, you're gonna notice that the whatever it's 20,000, 40,000, 60, they melt away real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. That's true.
Yeah. So that's what I tell.
Digging deeper into your work, one word or term that struck me was performance anxiety, which, would be the difference of 40,000 people just melting away, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah.
What's going on in somebody's mind who can't get to that point?
Let's talk about, well, let's take it apart in a couple situations. There's match performance anxiety, which I don't really know if I don't know if I would call it too much anxiety. There's definitely, for example, with penalties, there's more anxiety. But the biggest reason for the anxiety is because you have time to stop and think.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, that's anxiety is basically thinking about an outcome that hasn't happened yet, right? So when you're walking up to take a penalty, that's the other thing that's so different that people don't understand about penalties versus an in-game penalty. Is penalties, first off, you have the final aspect of it, which it can end the match or a tournament, whatever it is. So there's this massive outcome looming. But the second thing is you have this walk from the midline usually all the way, and and that's why if we're going to talk about those types of anxiety, it's really all about, if you ask me, the best players, they know exactly what they're going to do from that line to the ball.
And
They
don't think
have
about
a thought
anything else.
process, they have a routine, and then they probably have that flexibility that I'm talking about, that if you have some goalie who wants to dance a little bit, throw the ball in the air, they're also going to be, yeah, that can happen. Whoop, that can happen. No problem. I can deal with that. I have a plan for that. And, that kind of pulls away that more anxiety. So I think penalties have really their own, and specifically penalty shootouts have their own kind of flavor. In a match, it's a little bit different, I think in a match, and I'm speaking, of course, more from a theoretical point of view, but also what I see in the pitches. When we play, let's say, just a very, very talented team, it's not that so much. I don't think it's some anxiety is what I meant, because you're not thinking about so much the future. You're more just overloaded. You might just be overloaded that you don't see the right decision. Do you know what I mean? You're too tunnel vision. You're too you can't see the wider game. You can't make the relaxed pass enough. You can't shoot the ball with the right touch. So those are kind of two different ways of looking at it. I don't know if you how you feel about that or
No, it's true what you say. Like the going from where you stand to the penalty spot for people is like eternal,
Yeah.
And you have other people. Everyone have their own things, the rituals, I would say. So yeah, but I agree with what they say.
Do you have mental routines like that? The ones that Pete just described, just thinking about your process or the way you're going to shoot, or I don't know, preparing yourself for a game?
No, I'm going and I already know where I want to shoot it. Like, and I don't let myself doubt where I'm gonna shoot. Like, no, I'm walking. Okay, I'm gonna shoot here, and I'm gonna shoot here. I'm not gonna change it.
So you're repeating that in your head while walking.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
But everyone, what I say, everyone is different.
Yeah, but we're just here to hear from you today. I heard you also describe yourself as a really calm and that you're someone who doesn't think a lot while on the pitch. Is that something that you maybe even worked with Pete on, or that you developed over the years?
Obviously we're talking about a lot of things, so these things as well. But growing up, I would say I developed this thing, and as well like the calmness, and I would say the discipline that I developed myself. Like I'm on the pitch, I must perform. Like
So mental or physical discipline?
both, both. But for me, if you ask me, the mental part is like the most important thing. Obviously the physical, you have to be fit, you everything, but the mental part is just the pressure that you have, like of a footballer and top club. You must perform. So that is for me like, okay, you must be prepared.
So how do you guys, if you're willing to share something from the work that you're doing together, what is it that you talk about or that you're working on?
I think, to be honest, when it comes to us two particularly, I think I focus much more on like I said, I come in the locker room, I check on Xavi, we talk about other things. We just kind of, again,
who lost in Uno and stuff.
Yeah, we
right.
we had a few weeks where it was a pretty hot topic. Yeah, I had a couple good victories. I think only once or twice, but yeah, I think one of the ways that I like to interact, I don't think you mind me saying, is I just like to get to know Xavi as a person. I like to talk to him about whatever nonsense BS I have in my head. Everyone who knows me knows I have a lot of BS in my head, and I mean that in a positive way. Like, I just like to in America, as an American, we just like to shoot the shit. Like we like to talk about clothes, we like to talk about cars, we like to talk about food, we like to talk about culture, music, whatever. I almost, like I was saying, like I don't need to talk to him so much about what he did on the weekend, because there's 3-4 other experts here that are gonna say, hey, you need to open up quicker, you need to stand there, you need to shoot there, past whatever it is, or you did everything 100% right, I'm sure, but like, there's and there's athletic coaches, they're going to take care of him physically, like there's the physical trainers, they're going to make sure he's healthy. And one of the things that I like to do is just kind of always, hey man, all good, you need anything. And that's, I think, to be honest, how I've tried to help you the most since you've arrived.
Yeah, the human part. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess a relationship like this depends on how open the player is willing to be too, right? This is about trust. This is about connection as well.
Yeah, obviously in the start is you know him, you don't know him a lot, so you have to develop the relationship as well. But what he's saying, just talking about normal stuff, normal people. Not what I say before, not 24 hours about football, you know. So that part helps me as well to come to the club and talk about everything in life. So that personally helped me a lot. Yeah.
You just mentioned Pete, food, fashion,
Yeah.
music, maybe. What do these things mean to you as an individual, and that you can, I guess, express yourself in this way here at Avi Leipzig?
Yeah, everything is important. Like music for me is as well really important.
Hmm.
Like it's as well. You wake up, you put a little bit of music, and it's a kind of a way to express yourself and the mood you are in the day. It helps me. I go in a car and I put the music on the loudest possible, you know, and sing a little bit.
He's driven
Even
past me while I'm on my
Nice.
bike, so
Okay.
I know how loud music is. But
yeah,
and we also one thing I was did about music. We definitely have some common interest when someone else puts the music on in
yeah,
the locker room that we both kind of go. But
I see.
yeah.
I see. Okay.
We had those moments,
yeah,
but
yeah. There are ways to express yourself.
Mhm.
So for me, it's really important.
Would you help players as well finding their ways to express themselves more and like feel more comfortable with them? Do things like putting on music or something play a role in your work as well?
I think one thing I do when we do like some team building activities on purpose, you might have maybe like a little like smaller teams and captains and things like that. Is then to have somebody captain a team who's maybe a little quieter, maybe doesn't have as much responsibility, just to kind of get them to, you know, have a more of a voice, something that they need to say a little bit. But yeah, in general, I think one of the advantages as the team psych or as mental performance coach, um, is I get to have my eyes and ears open constantly.
Mm.
So I get to kind of see maybe who's fading a bit in the back, who's not really, just I can notice them, and I can just give them the smallest amount of attention and say, how are things going?
Mm.
And that's a really great gift, and it's something that I really appreciate, being able to do. And I think the players notice as well. That's they'll definitely joke about me having enough free time to go ask people how to do, but yeah, it's very important.
You're like, actually, it's my job, but
It
okay.
is my job. It is my job, but it doesn't feel like a job. I'll
Yeah,
put it that way.
that's
It's
cool.
a pleasure.
I was just thinking, speaking about, how you express yourself or how that's an important role for everyone. You've played with so many crazy people already together. You mentioned Messi, Neymar was in the mix as well. Do you look up to these people? Do you actually learn something from them, or is it a very different relationship once you're on the same squad?
Yeah, I grew up in Barcelona, so
Yeah.
yeah, for me, Messi is best.
Mm.
But in my eyes, Neymar was my idol since I was young. And I remember when I was 12, I did a commercial with him, and my eyes were, this is my idol. I have him here in front of me, and I hope so one day to play with him. And that dream became reality. I played with my idol at 70 years old. So that kid dreaming all day to playing with him, seeing every day in the Camp Nou, going to the pitch, screaming his name, celebrating his goals. Well, yeah, one day I'm besides him playing with him. So that that was as well like a kind of achievement for me, because was the little Xavi inside of me and enjoying that. So for me, in my eyes, was Neymar, yeah, the best as well, I would say.
That's so nice. And you just mentioned obviously your upbringing, your athletic upbringing in La Masia. Are there maybe certain things that you learned back in those days that you've carried into the present moment of your career?
Yeah, like don't take every day for granted, I would say, because there as well, you have a lot of boys. I was living in La Masia, and everyone has one goal, and that goal is playing on the first team of Barca. But you know that only 1 or 2% of is gonna go to that team. So and that there you, even I was 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, I know, like I know this, like okay, I must give everything every day to achieve that. So I would say that, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know that you said, and we established this in the conversation, how important it is to be present. And only in the present you can, create what you want to have in the future, really. Maybe as a final advice to our listeners, young or more mature, what would be the thing that keeps you in the present to help you reach your goals?
Honestly, two things, and I think I sound like a broken record on that. But good people around you that remind you of where you wanted to go, and for me is, as I said, meditation or prayer. The daily meditation or prayer, which gives me kind of that connection back to myself and what's important. I think that disconnects from this steady stream of life, and especially with cell phones and so many things where you can get caught up real quickly. Turn off your mind. Let it just listen to your own thoughts and kind of ground yourself. Those things are essential, I think, for growth.
What are yours, Xavi?
I have a lot, but yeah, I would say as well, just simple. Enjoy your present, enjoy every day. And what I say, don't take every day for granted, I would say, because you don't know what in life can happen. So for me, it's that simple. That I would say that advice, like enjoy it, with the people you love, and take care of yourself, I would say.
All right, then. I hope our audience will take that to heart and will try to, transfer that into their everyday life. Thank you so much for
To
the
you.
insights, for your time, Xavi and
To
Peter.
you.
Thanks again to Xavi and Peter. This was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed this episode as well and took from it what you needed most. What stood out for me personally was the part about the fans' judgment of the football players and how, these negative comments can really affect those human beings, which is what they are, just like you and me. But I'll be back on Thursday along with Red Bull's head of mental performance, Jörg-Peter Klöppel, and we'll elaborate more on that, and I cannot wait to hear his thoughts on the conversation. Leave us a comment or review wherever you're listening or watching, or drop us an email on mindsetwin@redbull.com. And remember, you can now watch these episodes of Mindset Win on our brand new YouTube channel. Please make sure to tell your friends about this and hit subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. This was it for the moment. Thank you so much for listening, and see you again on Thursday.